Hi everyone, welcome to Grow Roots. This is Shannon, and today is a sad, sad day for the Grow Roots garden. I'm so sad. I will need to pull out almost all or maybe all of my coneflowers, my echinacea. I have them all throughout my backyard garden, and I have two in my front garden that are going to need to be pulled out completely. Yes, it's like one of the staples of my garden. It's a plant that just does so awesome for us here in North Texas, and they're heat tolerant, drought tolerant, beautiful, adds amazing color and texture to every garden. However, I have discovered for sure now that they have come down with Aster Yellow disease. So I made a previous video maybe a month ago that I discovered something odd with my two coneflowers in my front garden. They just didn't have petals. They had like the tufts of the cone, but they didn't have petals, and what petals they did have were really deformed. But the plant themselves looked amazing. And when you have some weird things going on with your coneflowers, you immediately need to start wondering, is it coneflower rosette mites? Or is it Aster Yellow disease? Because coneflowers are extremely susceptible to Aster Yellow and also to coneflower rosette mites. And the symptoms can look very, very similar. I'm not gonna go into like extreme depth on this video. I will pop the link to that other video on the screen where I talk about each disease and how I determined which disease I thought my coneflowers had. But since the symptoms were so very similar and I didn't see the extreme symptoms of Aster Yellows, I determined back then, a month ago, that they had coneflower rosette mites. And the treatment for coneflower rosette mites was simply to cut off all of the blooms that, you know, the blooms were looking so odd and the cones were looking so odd. So I cut all of those off, and then it was after that that I started thinking it might be Aster Yellow, because I saw stunted growth, which is the symptom that is common with Aster Yellow, and all of the things. So today, join me. I'm gonna talk a little more in depth about Aster Yellow, why I need to remove my plants, what it is, and I'll walk you through the process, and you can see my garden, what it looks like afterwards. There'll be lots of empty spaces, folks, so here we go. Okay, so Aster Yellow disease is a disease that is caused by a very specific bacteria called phytoplasma. And Aster Yellow is a systemic disease. It is not curable, because once it has that bacteria phytoplasma inside of the plant, it is in the entirety of the plant. It's in the roots, it's in the stems, it's in the leaves, it's in the flowers. The entire plant must be disposed of, roots and everything, bagged up, not composted, and trashed immediately, because once it's in the system of the plant, anything that sucks the juices from that plant, and it's particularly spread by aster leafhoppers, or really any type of leafhoppers that suck the sap of the plant. They have very specific mouth parts that, they suck the infected plant, and phytoplasma gets inside of the body of the leafhopper, and it multiplies inside of their body. And then when they go to feed on another plant, those mouth parts transmit the phytoplasma into that plant. So it's super, super contagious if you have, especially the aster leafhopper, which is the main vector for this disease. But really, honestly, almost any type of leafhopper with the same type of mouth parts, those are going to be vectors, or they will transmit the disease very quickly if you do not remove it as soon as you're sure that it's Aster Yellows. Now that I'm sure that it's Aster Yellow, I've got to remove it. So I'm going to go through my garden. I'm going to show you some of the first signs that I saw that I thought was coneflower rosette mites, and then what I saw last night was unmistakable. Now I'm like, okay, it's Aster Yellow. It was Aster Yellow this whole time. I'm so sad. It made it spread because I misdiagnosed it. Such is the life of a gardener. I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm not a disease expert. I'm not a horticulturist. I do know a lot about plants, And I do have a biology degree, actually. So I've studied plants and I've studied ecosystems and habitats and things like that. But I'm not an expert on Aster Yellows or Coneflower rosette mites. I did so much research and I really thought that my conclusion was correct, but it wasn't. And isn't that life? We just aren't always correct. And sometimes that can cause extra damage when we're incorrect. And that's what's happened with my garden. I'm just fully disclosing everything to you guys so that you can learn, so that you can watch for these things in your plants and coneflowers at home, and then remove it when you do see Aster Yellows. So let's go. I'm going to take you through and show you what's happening. Okay, so this is still my backyard, and I have 3 Cheyenne Spirit Echinacea here. And as you can see, I have cut most of the blooms off. But the blooms that are here, you can see they're kind of deformed, right? The petals aren't like perfect. They're kind of curly. And this one actually doesn't look all that bad. This one's super short. It's just kind of deformed, okay? The cone itself doesn't have that green leafy growth. I'll see if I can find one to show you guys. But this is what I saw at first, and especially with the ones in the front. They were missing petals. Some of them were missing petals altogether. And it's not quite right. And that's also characteristic of Coneflower rosette mite. And so that's what I thought it was. But you look at the plant itself, and Aster Yellow can also show up with symptoms like yellowing leaves, chlorotic kind of leaves, stunted growth, stunted blooms, all of those. I wasn't seeing any stunted blooms. I wasn't seeing yellowing of the leaves. I wasn't seeing the, another thing that Aster Yellow gets is this like crazy, weird, alien-like growth out of the cone that's green. Also, the petals turn green with Aster Yellow. I'm just not seeing that, which is why I thought it was Coneflower rosette. But the new ones, now you can see they are green and they are very stunted. This is not your typical coneflower size. It's very small. The leaves do look stippled, but I think that's spider mites. They're not yellow, but this is definitely not a typical bloom, okay? So I've just been cutting all of these off, honestly, thinking it was the rosette mite that just kept transmitting itself. But you can see these petals are just, they're deformed and weird. And there's a brown one even, it's just not even growing. All of these buds that are trying to come up, they're just super stunted and they're not quite right at all. So this needs to get pulled out because and here's another thing that I've noticed. I thought that maybe my dogs had been peeing here when I was on vacation. This is an Ageratum, also in the Aster family. I'm seeing tons of yellow discoloration of the leaves. And I just saw, oh, it got heat stressed. Temperatures were very, very hot when I was gone. No, I think it's got Aster Yellows as well. So that plant has got to go. It wasn't heat stress. So coming over here, this Echinacea as well. This is an Echinacea purpurea. And here's an example of just like the cone is just really, really weird. You see some growth in there. It's now brown, but it used to be green. The petals are not nearly as big as what they should be. This one, like, it's just completely done. This one is new, but it's not nearly as big, and all the petals are crazy deformed. This one definitely has it. It needs to go. But still, oh, here's an example. Now here's where it gets borderline Aster Yellows and definitely not Coneflower mite. Like, you're starting to see some green tufts that are coming up here. And yeah, that's not normal. That's not good. That one's coming out. So you can see, like, these were the first sign. Like, and then this is an Echinacea purpurea. And it honestly looks perfect. See, this is what the petals are supposed to look like. They don't look deformed. This one looks kind of weird, but something might have just damaged it. I don't, like something got in there, like birds. Birds got the seeds. That's all that is. Then you look at my white swan, and these don't look right. So the white swan Echinacea's got to come out. You see this? Like, this is green growth, not your typical like orange cone. I don't think that's right. The petals are curling. They're not the same shape that they're supposed to be. So yeah, that white swan's got to go. So let me now show you the telltale sign that I saw last night that is just unmistakable. And I need to get down into my garden down there, so hang tight. Okay, so here's the telltale sign that I saw last night. It's just, there's no doubt. You see all that alien growth coming from the cone? There you go. Aster yellow, telltale, no doubt in my mind. And this plant's got to get out. It's got to be removed. But see, most of them look the same as my other ones. Oh, here's another alien kind of thing. See, no petals on this one either. No petals. This one's got it really bad. Stunted growth, just like I'm seeing in the others. So yeah, and then this one's fine. Like, this is one of the earlier ones, I think, you know. It's so sad. I've even got a snail on that dude, but it's still not normal. It's so tiny compared to all of the rest. So it definitely developed this disease during the season because the first growth is fine. And then coming along to this plant, this is Mexican sunflower, or Tithonia. And I came back to this plant thinking, oh, there's a lot of heat stress here. Look at these leaves. It does, now that I see it, it looks chlorotic. This is in the aster family, y'all. So it's susceptible to aster yellow. And these new blooms are not looking right. This is what a bloom should look like. And this is new. So it's so weird. Some of it's good and some of it's not, you know. But unfortunately, the entire plant's got to go. I love this plant, but it is an annual. The others are perennials, but this one was an annual. So the thing is, though, once I pull all of the things that are showing signs, and I apparently have a lot of plants in the aster family, I'm going to have a lot of bare spots. So that brings me to a little positive spin that I'm going to put on this today. In all of life, when we get things that bring us down, when we get disappointments, when we get, you know, losses, this is a very small loss compared to, you know, a lot of losses that we feel. But in the way that I've always dealt with things in life is putting a positive spin on it. So in this circumstance, I'm going to say when old life must be put to death, which these guys must be put to death, new life can spring forward and new hope can spring forward. So pulling all of these out is going to give me more spaces for more plants. I have a very tiny garden, and so I run out of space very quickly. And what this will do for me is give me new possibilities and new hope for new plants that I can grow that will be very exciting and very beautiful. So I know that growth will come from this. I know that beauty will come from this, but right now it does suck. It's not fun. But such is life, right? The garden just shows us, you know, all of life's lessons, I think. And just, you know, how God works through us sometimes, and putting a positive spin on it instead of like completely being devastated that I have to remove all these plants. That's the way that I cope. That's the way that I survive. And I find hope in new life. So there you go. So the vector that I believe is causing this aster yellow, I'm trying to find it because it's on this plant very heavily. It's a butterfly pea vine. I have a lot of sharpshooters this year. The sharpshooters are crazy, and I just saw a ton of them and now they are gone. But it's the glassy winged sharpshooter. I'm trying to look for it, you guys. And of course, when I try to find it, I can't find it, but I find them at any time of day on this plant. They really do like woody shrubs and vines, but they will go and feed on perennials as well. And they like to hide. They like play hide and seek on the stems. That's kind of probably what they're doing right now. I just can't find one. I'll put a picture of a glassy wing sharpshooter on the screen, but I haven't seen any aster leaf hoppers, which are the ones that are known to transmit aster yellow, hence the name aster yellow. But I have found like so many glassy winged sharpshooters. In doing research, these have the same sucking mouth parts that the aster leafhopper does. It's in the leafhopper family, and therefore, because I know I have lots of them, that is the insect that I believe is transmitting this phytoplasma that is causing the aster yellow in all of the aster plants. I can't find one, but anyway, just letting you know that's what causes it. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that I can do to keep them from feeding on whatever new plants that I put in there. I'm going to be getting a shipment actually today of Proven Winners perennials that I'm going to be adding to my garden, and I'm kind of worried about some of them. Some of them are in the Aster family. A couple of them are actually Coneflowers. And now that I know that my glassy wing sharpshooters are likely infected with phytoplasma, I'm like, man, what do I do? What do I do except hope and pray that they don't transmit it to the new plant? I could cover the new plants with nets, maybe. I feel like that's extreme. I don't want to do it, but maybe I will. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys would do, because once the leafhoppers are infected with the phytoplasma, they are infected for the life cycle, so that one generation. So maybe pulling all of these out after I get the first generation of leafhoppers to die, maybe everything will be fine after that. It's just trying to prevent that first generation from infecting the new plants. So there we go. But now I'm gonna go ahead and pull these guys. When you pull them, again, pull them roots and all, bag them up, do not compost, and throw the bags in the trash. So that's what I'm about to do. Okay, so here I am on the worst infected plant that I have, and I might need a shovel. I didn't even think to grab that yet, but I'm gonna try to just pull it up. Here we go, roots and all. And actually there weren't that many roots in that guy, interestingly enough, and maybe that's why it was so susceptible. But there's one that's got to get bagged. I forgot to bring my bag down here, but I'm gonna put them right here. I'm gonna bag them up immediately. I'm gonna just get rid of all of these coneflowers. There's a few others in here as well. And they're right next to the other one, so I'm gonna assume that they are infected as well. And Gummy's very interested. Gummy, no, don't eat that. I don't think you'll be affected by the phytoplasma, but we've got vines growing in here. Come on, vines. Okay. Like I said, it hurts, but with a positive spin on things, new growth will come. Hey, will you stop? She likes to eat Echinacea. I forgot about this. She loves to eat the leaves of Echinacea, which, by the way, is fine for dogs. They are not. She just pulled one and ate it. You're eating one right now. As a matter of fact, Echinacea is actually a good immune support for dogs. And so if I see like holes, crunches on the leaves, it's likely her, but I've got all kinds of things eating my plants right now, so who knows. And then I've got this one right here as well. This is my big one that has multiplied and divided, but it's gonna go. Yep, it's got it. I was gonna say, maybe it's not showing any signs. No, it's showing signs, so it's gotta go. Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to do this in pieces. And this one is very well rooted. The others were fairly new Echinaceas that had seeded themselves from previous years. And this is the original that is huge, and it's gotta go. This Echinacea has actually been here since this flower bed started. I winter sowed these seeds. Well, no, I didn't. I started these seeds indoors in the year 2020 when this garden bed was made. So this plant is 6 years old, has survived a lot of craziness in that time, and now it's got to go. Oh, and I see more babies. More babies that I gotta pull. Oh, I didn't get the root in that. Here it is. And then this one. All right. Making sure to pull those out. This, I think, is a limelight hydrangea root, but just in case. Okay. Pull out some weeds while I'm here. Might as well. And then this Tithonia. I already had one that died while I was gone. So there's that. That one was dead. And then this Tithonia needs to be pulled out as well. This makes me kind of sad because these are amazing pollinator attractors and I was really looking forward to those butterflies. But yeah, it's gonna go. And there you have it. That's it for this section. The rest of it, I'll speed up for you guys because I know it's just monotonous stuff. But if you want to see it, then I'll speed it up for you, put it with some music, and you can enjoy, okay? So wanted you to see that I did not forget to bag it immediately. I did not forget. I've got just a really large trash bag. I have like another trash can specifically for plant waste, but I'm not even going to mix it with that. It'll stay around for a little while. This has got to be bagged so that it doesn't transmit that disease. And discarded immediately. There it is. One thing you should know, you'll see there's some soil left on my porch, and you could say, hey, that soil is going to get put back into your garden and transmit the disease. Aster Yellow actually doesn't go into the soil. That's the good news about this. I can plant something right away in its spot as long as the roots are gone and be confident that the actual soil is not going to give the plant Aster Yellows again. It's the insect, the vector that is infected with phytoplasma that will eventually potentially infect the new plants. But anyway, I don't have to worry about the soil. And here is the area where my Cheyenne Spirit Echinacea, and also I'm going to pull the Ageratum that's right here because I'm pretty sure the Ageratum has it. Interestingly, Shasta Daisy is right there, and I think I might pull it anyway. I wasn't pleased with my Betsy Shasta Daisies. This is my first time growing them and they really didn't bloom for me this year. On the blooms that are existent on the other side, I don't see any signs of Aster Yellow on them. However, they are in the Aster family. I wasn't pleased with them anyway. I'm gonna have enough holes in my garden though. So I don't know if I'm gonna pull them today or not. Let me know in the comments if you guys would. But definitely the Cheyenne Spirit and the Ageratum's gonna go too. Okay, so here we are. So many holes, so many spaces. But hey, like new spaces, right? You can see how I tried to grow catmint here. I grew that from seed, but the Echinacea was taking it over, and I think the catmint will love life a little bit better. I decided not to take out those Shasta Daisies. That might not be a good decision, but like these look so perfect. Although look, okay, Shasta Daisies have to come out. Let me show you the rest of the garden before I pull that out. Oh my goodness gracious. That's a lot. Aster Yellow can be just devastating, honestly. If you really, oh, and I missed one, but a big old space there. Turns out that was a white swan Echinacea that had divided, and when it divided, it was Echinacea purpurea. It reverted back to its original native plant self. Echinacea purpurea was taken out there. Echinacea Sunseeker's Orange was taken out there. A powwow Echinacea was taken out there. I have to do another powwow. A huge Echinacea purpurea taken out there. I also had an Echinacea powwow that I grew from seed this year. Winter sowed it. I took it out. And then, of course, you guys know over here, I took out the Tithonia and all of the Echinacea that were over here. I have to take out that other Tithonia though. That spot's just a little hard to get to. I will do that. Gotta do the Shasta Daisies now, and I gotta do, oh my goodness, that other Echinacea I forgot about. Oh. All right, as stunning as this front garden is, it's not gonna look any different, honestly, once I take these Coneflower out because they are so stunted at this point. But these are the Coneflower that I originally saw issues with, no petals and deformed petals and things like that. And now the growth is just so stunted, but now they're nothing, honestly. So I'm just gonna pull these out along with this nutsedge, which is such a pain. See, it comes up really easy. These are only 1 year old, so they're not like super duper established, but there's one, and that's gonna go straight into my trash bin, which is not far from us. And there's the other. This one I have no problems. This was a really pretty variety though. It was a double mandarin echinacea and double scoop mandarin, that's what it was. Such beautiful blooms when they first came out, honestly. But then when they get all wonky, then they weren't so great. I totally regret making the decision to just wait it out and watch it for Aster Yellows. If I had it to do over again, I would definitely do it differently. So learn from me, take it out if you see any signs of anything. And I hope that this inspired you. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments, would you have done things differently? What would you have done? Have you had Aster Yellow? Do you have Aster Yellow? Oh, it's such a nightmare. But anyway, new hope grows from that, right? So thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. I put out so much more content, garden tours, plant videos, all of the things for here in North Texas where we have extreme conditions for growing these plants. And I hope that you'll join me next time. Bye-bye, everybody.